Well, hey there, fellas, and welcome back to another episode of the Mancast. We're glad that you're here.
Mancast.
And today, it seems like we live in a culture who absolutely loves a quick fix, don't you think? Like you have hacks to everything. If you don't know how to do something, you YouTube it real quickly and you can find the shortcuts.
But you don't watch the whole video anymore. Now you get the short with just you don't have to watch the intro.
It even gives you those footnotes so that you can scrub right to the point, So we love the hacks. We love the 5 steps to this. I think you go to any Barnes or Noble's books and they'll give you 5 steps to any successful thing that you ever want in life. All you need to do is read this book and follow these steps. I don't know about you. I'm not where you're at, but one thing that I'm learning I think I've learned it, or maybe I'm still learning it. Who knows? There's no quick fix to learning how to have a successful marriage.
Yeah. I think even just learning how to have a successful marriage is a lifelong endeavor. Yeah.
And you and Anna are coming up celebrating 25 years of marriage. Congratulations.
End of July 28th was 25 years for us. I think this is publishing after that.
There you go.
A couple things is I still have the same wedding ring.
Oh, wow.
I haven't lost it. Actually, this summer, I injured my elbow and my arm swole up, so I have to take it off. And I lost it for like 3 days. And I was like, oh my gosh. But I found it. It was good. In the middle of the night, my hand was swelling and I put it on the little drawer in my nightstand and I found it. So I told Anna, I was like, I don't know if you find it, but
that's successful.
I got it. So I still have the same ring. Anna's been through, I think she still has the same like diamond, but a couple different versions of the ring. So I'm a winner.
I'm on ring 3.
You are?
My goodness. Yeah. I feel like a failure now. I got some standards to live up to.
Still the same sucker.
Okay.
Yeah. Still got the engraving on it and everything. Yeah.
Well, that is cool. That's great.
Major accomplishment.
So instead of maybe this episode being Tim's 5-step guide to a successful
25
marriage.
25 things I've learned in 25 years of marriage.
What would you say would be like some of the biggest things, not necessarily to have a good marriage, but that you've learned in your marriage?
Yeah. Boy, I think there could be so many things. We could talk for hours and hours and hours about it. And not the definitive things, but just some things that I think if you're married, remember this, or if you're going to get married or want to be married or have been married is the first one is you're going to have many different marriages inside one marriage.
Huh. What do you mean by that?
And what I mean by that is, this is like not multi-personality disorders, but you're going to have different seasons of life.
Yeah.
And most couples, not most, this is the danger, is you get stuck in you thinking that your marriage that you have if you get married when you're young and you don't have kids yet, that somehow gets locked in and you say, this is what marriage will look like. This is what sex will look like. This is what romance will look like. This is what our time, our energy, our resources will look like. And many couples find themselves trying to go back to what was.
Yeah.
And if you don't recognize that there is a different marriage, a pre-kid marriage, and then a marriage that involves children, if you don't recognize that, you will perpetually be frustrated. You're actually past tripping.
Yeah. Let's go back to the way it was.
You're longing to what was. If you've had kids, if your wife has had children, like just even the reality of what that does to a woman's body is, whew. Like, it doesn't cost us a whole lot to our physical bodies to have children. Like it changes things.
Yeah. And
you have to embrace and understand that that's a season.
Yep.
And then, there's a season when you have young kids. And I think the one thing we were very fortunate of is we had coaches and we had some intentionality behind recognizing these seasons. And I will remember we were getting some coaching and we remembered that it was the season that our kids no longer needed car seats. And that was that was a significant change in our parenting model that, my kids aren't little kids anymore.
Yeah.
They need a different version of me as a parent, and Anna and I need to navigate differently as we're talking about adolescence now and not childhood. And then as your kids graduate, your first kid that you launch into the world, that's a big significant one. And then your last kid that you launch into the world, that's a big significant one. And then being intentional, here's what I've been most grateful. This thought rocked my mind. I remember one of our mentors told us this, is we think that young kids at home is the longest part of our marriage. That's the shortest part of a lifetime together.
Wow.
That the longest part of your marriage is no kids at home, empty nesters.
Yep.
Like, so we're celebrating 25 years of marriage. Our youngest daughter just graduated high school. And the next, I mean, if we live to even decent lives of 72, 75, we'll be married with no children much longer than we were married with children at home.
Yeah.
And so recognizing that now is a different season. We all know how many marriages fall apart when the kids graduate because your only connection point was the kids. I think another factor in there is nobody talks about the reality of menopause, what that does. It's real. It's a real thing. I mean, it changes and you have to recognize, and I don't know if this is menopause or this just happens after so many years of marriage. And I think especially when women get into their 40s, they're just like, I'm done putting up with your stuff.
Yeah. Boundaries are drawn.
And you're like, hold on, this worked really well. Like everything worked great. And then it's like, no, it doesn't work. That worked for a season, but now we're going to navigate in a different season. And if you don't recognize that, you get angry.
Oh yeah.
You get bitter. And what happens is you have expectations that your spouse is not meeting and cannot meet because you're in a different season. And so you have to change the reality of your expectations. So you just got to know you're going to have a minimum of 3 marriages inside your marriage.
Yeah. How do you recognize those changes in the season?
Kids are a natural one. You know, kids are just natural. It's not helpful all of a sudden if you have teenagers and you treat them like toddlers. Yeah. So you got to recognize that. I think it takes great intentionality to have those conversations with your spouse. Because this is maybe the next big idea that even feeds into that. Probably the biggest source of frustration for me in our marriage has been, I'm in a season of growth and development and Anna's in a different place. And then Anna's been in a season of growth and development and I'm not in. And you would think that we'd all be running. We're a godly couple. We pray together. We read that we're going to be running together at the same speed and pace of life and rhythms. And that is not a realistic expectation. Is there's her journey.
Yeah.
There's my journey and there's our journey together. And I think I idealistically thought that our journey together would be much more of the emphasis and the time. But I've learned in personal development, I grow and develop and think and learn in a different pace than she thinks and learns and develops and grows.
Yeah.
And probably the thing that has informed that most in our lives is how we've dealt with pain. You don't get to 25 years of marriage without dealing with some pain.
Yeah.
And it's not just growth and development. It is really, we all grieve at different paces. So many of you know this, but we had 2 stillborn children. Anna's given birth to 2 stillborn children. And I was really sad. That was a bummer. It was devastating holding my lifeless children. I grieved. I mean, even still some days I was driving the other day and I looked in the rearview mirror and I was like, oh wow, I'd have a 15-year-old kid in the back of the car right now. I'd be like, and it's just like, hadn't thought about it in a while. And you just think about those moments and sad, brokenhearted. But how I grieved that and how Anna grieved that were very different. And I had to learn to be gracious and kind and merciful in ways I wasn't aware of. And we needed help. We needed help navigating that. I didn't know. I was like, come on. I know that's really sad, but we got other kids. Like, we got to move on. And it's just like, that was an unrealistic expectation. And so recognizing those different seasons have been a part of it. Pain's been a big part of that. So many times I think that's the frustration that I see in couples is, man, I want my spouse to go here. I want emotionally, passion wise, all these things. Nah, you're never going to be, there's more time that you're not in step than you are in step.
Yeah.
And you can either grieve that and be sad about it, or you just realize this is where we're at.
Embrace it.
you embrace, and you have grace for each other.
Yeah.
In that. And I think Anna has had immense grace towards me. it has been much more me having grace for her.
Yeah.
Because I always want to go. I want to think about the future. I want to be moving on to other things. And so part of that has been I've had to differentiate a little bit and realize it's not fair for Anna to meet all of my energy, goal-driven things. That's not fair for her.
Yeah.
So, hey, we're going to do a lot of things together. I mean, we're probably different than most couples. We work together and we live together. So, most couples are trying to find places to connect with. We're like, hey, we need a little break from each other for a little.
Where's our disconnect?
How do we live our own separate lives?
Yeah.
But it's the same, like, because she has passions and dreams and ambitions. I have passions and dreams and ambitions. And I think idealistically, we think that they're all going to fit together.
So at this point in your marriage, 25 years, you're not just one person. You haven't globbed together to have all of the same interests and dreams and hopes and personalities.
Spiritually, we are. That's what the scripture says. It's the two shall become one flesh. Yeah. There is a deep intimacy. Like, I'll tell you this. I love my wife more now. When I stood in front of my friends and family, I love you I didn't even know what love was.
Yeah.
I had no idea. It was young. It was idealistic. It was not formed through the fires of life. And when you talk about intimacy and commitment, it is formed over time and life and grind and pain and sorrow and celebrations and wins and victories and all the things in between. So there is deeper oneness in us. There was a book that was written years ago. If you've ever seen, this is another movie quote. Have you ever seen Meet the Parents?
Oh, yeah.
Where Owen Wilson's character builds the chuppah. Why'd you become a carpenter? Because of Jesus Christ. I want to be like JC. And he builds this beautiful chuppah. And that's actually Hebrew tradition. So there was this author who wrote this book about Hebrew tradition that actually couples would get married under the chuppah. And the significance of that is there is a sacred space in a marriage that only belongs to a man and a woman. Mm-hmm. And in your marriage, there has to be sacred space where, if you tell your wife something, she doesn't go tell all of her girlfriends.
Yeah.
And if that is a violation of trust at a deep level, women, that you may not even understand.
Yep.
There has to be a sacred place, but there also has to be places outside of that sacred place, but you have to have the real strong boundary on the sacred place. So we're more one than we ever are together, I think, spiritually, emotionally, but we also are doing different things in different seasons of life.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know if that it's a hard concept to grasp, but there's more sacred oneness, but that's manifest probably in more mature ways that I thought would be different than us like holding hands on the golf course.
Yeah. No, I think that's a helpful picture because
we're going to Hobby Lobby together. Like I don't enjoy going to Hobby Lobby, but I am happy for my wife to go to Hobby Lobby.
Yeah. And I think when we're figuring it out, sometimes it feels like in order to be one, like you described spiritually,
we have to
do all of these things together. And if we don't, then we're not honoring the commitments that we made. But I love what you said and helping understand there's a difference between like habits and enjoyments and like deep spiritual intimacy. You can be deeply spiritually intimate and becoming one and still have a hobby that your wife doesn't like. And that's okay.
It is. Yeah, absolutely. We just had a fascinating conversation a couple weeks ago. I'm almost 50 and I'm starting to think about retirement and saving that way. And I was asking Anna like every week, like, hey, can you check how much you have in retirement account? And she just started like getting weird about it. And finally she just says, you have to stop it. It freaks me out when you start talking about retirement because I don't know what I'm going to do or where I'm going to be.
Whoa.
And I go, okay, we're not in step. I'm starting to get excited thinking about the future.
Yeah.
And me dreaming and getting excited about the future is causing panic and fear in you. We need to step back and have a little conversation here about what's going on. And I wanted to, come on, let's go. Like I could get mad at her, frustrated, but it was a sign like, oh, we're just not in the same place here. We're not in the same rhythm of life. And we got to get on board. And she said something like this, like, Tim, if it's just retirement, like, I just can't be with you all the time. It's like, that's what scares me to death. And that's part of like, I'm driven, I'm more high energy than she is. And it's like, that does not sound fun or enjoyable to me. So that was a great conversation. But I think that leads to here's the maybe another just huge principle is you think you hear your wife, but you have to learn to listen to your wife. We talk a lot, but very rarely do we really listen.
Yeah.
The old hit, the stereotype, I want you to read my mind.
Yep. Been there.
Which is part of, and I think we've talked about this, but men are notoriously, even Jordan Peterson talks about that. Men are stereotypically or in general more interested in stuff. Women are more interested in men. And so what do men do? We're always tinkering, trying to figure out things. You don't walk up to a car engine and say, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You start pulling apart, or your golf swing. Do you ever like, what's wrong, golf swing? You like start analyzing and think, if I do this, if I do this, if I whip this, if I make this happen, I'm a shooter. I'm always trying to be like, okay, why I'm starting to shoot my bow for the fall here. I'm like, why am I off? Okay, I got to move this, got to make this happen. I don't look at my bow like, why are you not shooting straight? Tell me what's wrong you need. You have to figure that out. And so it's really deeply frustrating to women when you walk up and say, what's wrong?
Yeah, there you go.
It doesn't help. A phrase I've been learning, I don't remember where I learned this, but I can tell that something's wrong. I'm available to talk about it when you would like to speak, when you'd like to talk about it.
What a great hack. Yeah. Write that down, everybody. That's a good...
Like, hey, I can tell that something's wrong when you're ready to talk about it, because I can't read your mind. Yeah. But it's an invitation to recognize, hey, I'm picking up on the vibes you're putting down.
Yeah.
And actually, that's a sign of listening.
Yep.
And a lot of times our wives are putting out vibes that we're not picking up. And then even in conversations, I'm a much better orator than my wife. I'm a professional communicator. Sure. So I can argue, I can beat her in every debate.
And you can probably alliterate your arguments.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Much stronger.
Yep.
And
3 to 5 points.
And I can tell you all the reasons why you said this and what I'm learning, and I haven't figured this out, I'm still in the process, is it doesn't matter to be right. It matters that I hear and I listen. What's really on her heart. And that means, and this is true. I think this is true of Anne. I've discovered this. I don't think it's true of every woman. Is sometimes it's even hard for her. It's hard for me to sometimes really discern what's on my heart. And I need someone to ask questions and probe to really discover what's going on in me. We're often the worst at self-evaluation. We need someone to help us. And that's one of the roles, is to really say, hey, ask probing questions. Not come with judgment, not just say what's wrong, stop, this or that, but to really get to the point of what's wrong. And I always want to solve this. I mean, this is still stereotypical, but I always want to solve the problem. And I think that's going to make things okay. And that's never, it's never the thing that makes it happen.
The thing I like about that too is you had mentioned it, but like when you first get married, you think you know the person. You're like, I get what makes you tick. I think I understand these things. And what I hear you saying over the course of 25 years, through everyday normal conversations and interactions and habits and watching how you handle situations over the course of, that's thousands of days and thousands of ordinary moments, you've seen how Anna handles these ordinary moments. So you don't, like, you can tell when she's acting not...
When things aren't right.
When things aren't right.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't happen that happens over time. And you can't just shortcut that.
No.
You might be a little more observant earlier.
But also one of the things we've had to recognize is our needs are invisible. And it's unfair of me to ask my wife, or to expect my wife to know what I need.
Yeah.
And it's unfair for my wife, for me to expect to know what she needs.
Yeah.
So part of that in a marriage is that we grow, we're able to read and be intuitive a little bit, but also there's a maturity that to be vulnerable, strong, confident enough, safe enough. And I think that's where this is where I've learned is when Anna told me what she needed, I wasn't the safest person to know that I was going to deliver on it and be like, well, that's not really what you need. Here's what you really need. I don't know if anybody else has done that. That's what you think you need? Let me tell you, I'm going to fix your problem. Here's what you really need. But being safe enough that says, okay, I hear that's what you need. Okay. I'm going to find a way to meet that need.
Yeah.
But that requires trust to be vulnerable.
Yep.
And I'm hoping, I think for the next 10 years for us, that's really the greatest place is we've got a foundation now where that trust and vulnerability, where that expectation of, I expect that you're going to know what's going on, it's not fair. And we really say, hey, you know what? Here's what I need from you today.
Yeah.
And I know that, but in 2024 and 2025, I meet with a coach every month, and my goal's been to be a better listener. And it's a 2-year, I did better. I've still got a long way to go, but I'm a great, I hear and I go to action. I'm not so great at listening and just sitting with that. And so I'm learning to just, okay, I'm a problem solver. I'm an action-oriented guy.
I have a question on that. When do you know? Because I think that can be a superpower too. So like being action-oriented and fixing a problem. So when do you know? When is it time to be the action-oriented guy, the fixer, the problem solver? You can make it happen. And when is it time to be the listener? Because have you seen that sometimes I need to do and sometimes I need to sit?
For sure. So I think being the action-oriented guy will do very well in your career. Will do very well in most of your lives. It will not do well in your marriage.
Yeah.
And so this is where we have to understand the season, understand the gear we're with, who we're talking to. I think raising sons can be a little bit more like, here's what I need you to do. Raising daughters, I need to just sit here and be here and not solve your problem and listen to it and just sit with it.
Good.
And one of the things that really builds trust is, I think, Jonathan, is we make this mistake that think my wife is going to love me when I perform and deliver. And really the thing that produces intimacy. Now, over time, if you produce and deliver, if you're not delivering, your wife will not respect you a long time. But really what produces intimacy when you have got a track record of delivering is when you have the emotional maturity, when you've got the emotional regulation to grieve when it's time to grieve, to mourn when it's time to mourn, just to laugh when it's time to laugh. And I think most men really struggle, by and large, to know what emotion to have at the right situation.
Yeah.
This is a question we had for our kids all the time. This is one of our goals, is we want our kids to feel the right emotion at the right time.
Yep.
And we're often bad at that. Like, okay, there's crisis in the home. So a lot of us, we go to anger. Yeah. That's not helpful. Nope. Or, we all have a default emotion. Some of us in uncomfortable situations, we start laughing. That's not really helpful, right? Or like, that person's dead. We do weird things like that emotionally. Yeah. And part of that's a maturity and a learning and growing and saying, okay, this is what's happening right now. This is what I need to feel. And not only what I need to feel, but then what I need to tell my face and to model so that my spouse knows I'm empathetic. Empathy is really the key there, so that they know I hear them, I listen to them, and I'm feeling what you're feeling. Yeah. That's empathy. Wow. And that's, it's a tough dude thing. That is not being weak. It is actually being emotionally differentiated and mature enough to know, not only, because I think guys can do, okay, I feel this inside, but you don't let anybody else know that you're feeling that. And that's often what the people you want to be intimate with, your wife wants you to know, is like, are you feeling what I'm feeling? Are you understanding what's going on here? Yeah. And so if you have this deep, intimate moment and you're just staring her down, she's like, he's in la la. He doesn't get it. Yeah. He's not there with me.
Yeah. I haven't been married for 25 years and I'm scratching at that one right now. Over the last couple of years, I'm learning, wow, it's really hard for me to offer what I'm feeling because I don't even know exactly what I'm feeling. Yeah. So taking time to evaluate, what am I feeling? And then communicating what I'm feeling to her. And the way Jasmine looks at me and responds to me when I actually offer that, like, whoa, that's what that's like. It's like you discovered the wheel or discovered fire when it was first invented. Like, oh, that's the feeling that I want to have in my marriage. And all it took was for me to share a little bit. And that was hard. I'm not saying it's easy, but once you kind of get that or figure those things out, I was like, oh, that's how you move towards oneness.
And it's even in the nonverbal communication. Mm-hmm. It's not so much your words; it's your nonverbal communication. Guys, we tend to be intimidate. We power up in those moments, look in the eyes. That's not what produces intimacy. So the skill here's the skill you have to learn. It's called mirroring. Mm. So if your wife's sad, don't buck up.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, and that old saying of maybe many have heard the story. You walk and there's a hole, and a lot of guys, there's a guy down in the bottom of a pit, and you're like, well, get out of the pit. Some people throw a rope down there. Some people throw a ladder. But the person that says, hey, I'm going to get down in the pit with you, and we're going to get out of this together. Yep. I think that's what our wives need a lot from us is, hey, you're really sad right now. I'm not going to tell you to just get happy.
Yeah.
But like, hey, I'm going to, what's hurting your heart right now?
Yeah.
Man, what's overwhelming? What's frustrating? Yeah, that's right. Man, these little kids are frustrating all the time. Yeah, I get it. Well, you had the baby, so deal with it. Yeah, this is frustrating right now. This is a difficult season. Hey, let's find a way to get out of this together.
Yeah.
It's a skill.
Yep.
I'm not always great at it, but that mirroring, learning to make those things happen. And then I think the last thing I would just say is I'm learning to love the things about my wife that I thought would change.
Whoa. Elaborate on that.
Well, we do premarital counseling all the time. And this is one of the questions we ask all the time is if your spouse never changes, let's say you're married 50 years and they never change, would you love them? And all those young, dumb couples are like, I love everything about them. Even that assessment we give is
every new thing I love about, or I've learned about my partner, I like.
Yeah, that's one of the questions. And the people are like, oh, it's a 6. Everything is awesome. Lying. And one of the things I realized is I had expectations, and I have expectations on my wife that I thought, oh, at this season, that would be different. And I'm really grateful for her because she's loved me and accepted me as I am.
Yeah.
And my nature is like, let's grow, let's get better, let's develop, let's learn new things, let's become. I get excited about the becoming. And what she wants is, I need you to love me as I am.
Yeah.
And what I thought was inspiring to let's be better was pressure,
crushing,
and performance.
Oh yeah.
And it was crushing. Probably the thing. It was not getting the results I wanted. And so, man, here's the thing: if you're not getting the results you want, try something different.
Try new tool.
Because it's insanity, right? That's the challenge. But boy, I love my wife more today. Thanks for sticking with me all these years, babe. Ready for the next 25, and it's gonna be the longest season without kids, and we're always learning. Yeah. Every couple, I think last episode we talked about the guys, the people we admire, not the ones who talk about how mature they have it all figured out. I was just talking to a couple who's been married. My parents' 75 or 55th wedding anniversary we celebrated this summer, and they talked about how much they're learning about each other. All these years in, I was talking to Evan and Molly, like, oh, my wife I'm still learning amazing things about her. So I get to learn all new things.
Yeah. Well, congratulations again, 25 years. Thanks for sharing with us.
Hope I have the same ring in 25 years.
Let's do this again in 25 years, and we'll check in. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you enjoyed the listen, and go give your wife a hug.
Mancast out.